After we turned 18, our mom let us draw systems. My sister got lucky and drew the genius system. I was unlucky and drew the loser system. Later, my sister became a successful entrepreneur. However, she was constantly guilt-tripped by our parents and drained dry by our relatives. Because she refused to help one time, a relative held a grudge and reported to the authorities that she possessed a system. My sister was taken by the research institute, used as a test subject, and died miserably on the operating table. Meanwhile, because I was timid and easy to control, a wealthy young heir from a top family praised me for being obedient and sensible, spending $300 million to marry me. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day Mom let us draw our systems. My sister, ignoring Mom's attempts to stop her, snatched the loser system. Sister, this time it's my turn to enjoy the wealthy life. As for you, just wait to become a lab rat. Meeting her vicious gaze, I smiled. She lived a whole life but learned nothing. No wonder she was played like a fiddle in her past life. Kiki, you always said Mom favored your sister. This time, you draw first. Mom looked benevolent as she handed the box containing the systems to me. Seeing I didn't move, she affectionately grabbed my hand and tried to shove it into the box. Child, why are you being so polite? Why should she draw first? I'm the older sister, seniority matters, I should go first. My sister, who had been dazing beside us, suddenly pushed me away and impatiently thrust her hand into the box. Mom tried to move the box away, but my sister held it down firmly. My sister opened the system she drew from the box. It was the loser system. She wept with joy and looked at me with pity. At this moment, I was absolutely certain my sister had also been reborn. In our past life, my sister luckily bonded with the genius system and her life took off. She went from a poor student to a top scholar, got into a prestigious university, started a successful business right after graduation, and became an enviable female CEO. Unfortunately, she was led by the nose by our parents. Helping a cousin on dad's side today, helping an uncle on mom's side tomorrow. These relatives were like leeches, clinging to her and sucking her dry. One time, a leech relative made an excessive demand, and my sister refused. Ignoring all her past kindness, the relative reported to the research institute that she had a system. My sister was taken away, used as a lab rat, and died on the operating table. I, on the other hand, bonded with the loser system. I was timid and easy to control. A wealthy young heir praised me for being obedient and sensible, spending $300 million to marry me into his wealthy family. My in-laws were kind. My husband doted on me. I became the envy of women nationwide. My sister was always jealous. Before she died, she told the researchers that I also had a system. I tried to escape in my car, but the institute's vehicles forced me off a cliff. I died without a trace. The loser system belongs to your sister. Even if you drew it, it's hers. You're the older sister. You can't snatch your sister's things. Mom looked stern and anxious, trying to snatch the system from my sister's hand. I watched Mom's performance with mockery. Ha! When Chloe snatched my clothes, my toys, even my awards before, why didn't Mom say those were mine? In my past life, after I married into the wealthy family, Chloe came to my house and made a scene. That was when I learned that from the very beginning, Mom intended for me to draw the loser system. She wanted Chloe to get the genius system, but she was afraid that giving it directly to Chloe would make people say she was biased and that Chloe bullied her sister. So, to have the best of both worlds, she customized a box. Only after the first system was drawn would the second one be released. She preloaded the box with the loser system. Whoever drew first would get the loser system. After that, the genius system would be released. And I foolishly thought in my past life that although Mom favored Chloe growing up, she was fair about something as life-altering as drawing systems. Chloe hid the loser system tightly behind her back, glancing at me unkindly. Give me the loser system. Mom glared at Chloe, wishing she could knock some sense into her. She winked furiously at Chloe, hinting like crazy. Several times, the truth almost burst out of her mouth. But Chloe was extremely wary of Mom. Just as Mom turned to call Dad over to restrain Chloe and hand over the system, Chloe bonded with the loser system. Hearing the unique sound of system binding, Mom turned back quickly, but it was too late to stop it. Mom was furious and hateful, raising her hand to slap. She couldn't bear to hit Chloe, so she turned abruptly and slapped me hard across the face. Why didn't you draw quickly? Making Chloe act first. Are you trying to piss me off? Chloe bonding with the loser system was a done deal. Mom hatefully threw the box on the ground and dragged Chloe away. Passing by me, Chloe looked radiant, leaning close to my ear and whispering, "Sister, this time it's my turn to enjoy the wealthy life. As for you, just wait to be dragged into the lab." Meeting her vicious gaze, I smiled. She lived a whole life but learned nothing. She deserved to be played in her past life. The box rolled a few times on the ground, and the genius system fell out, rolling to my feet. I squatted down to pick it up, carefully wiped it clean, and followed the procedure to bond with it. I was not the child my parents expected. When Mom was pregnant with me, her career was on the rise. She and Dad had agreed to abort me, but a checkup at the hospital with a relative working there, hinting it was a boy, changed their minds. Persuaded by Dad and Grandma, Mom decided to keep the baby. They meticulously prepared a nursery, superhero toys for their future son. They even booked a luxury confinement center, afraid their son wouldn't be well taken care of after birth. But they were disappointed. The baby born was me, not the son they longed for. Mom blamed me for losing her career, Dad blamed me for his empty joy. Grandma muttered about raising another money-losing girl. The adults in the family shook their heads when they saw me. My birth was a mistake from the start. When Mom was pregnant, Dad and Grandma assumed it was a boy and were busy taking care of Mom, neglecting Chloe somewhat. From then on, she hated me to the core. After I was born, with no love from parents or grandparents, I naturally became her slave and toy. When she first started bullying me, she was careful, only doing it behind the adults' backs, afraid of being discovered. Later, realizing my parents didn't care about me, she became harsher. After bullying me, she would go to our parents and tattle. My parents believed her every time, even listening to her suggestions on how to punish me. The next day, Mom told me there was no money for my study materials or my tutoring fees. She forcefully shoved me into a relative's sweatshop. "You, almost an adult. You can't just stay home leeching off your dad and me." But turning around, they signed Chloe up for a boarding personality training camp, attempting to intervene with the system's energy and prevent Chloe from becoming a loser. Chloe sprawled on the sofa and rolled her eyes. "What are you worrying about? I'm going to marry into a wealthy family later. Just wait to enjoy life." Mom and Dad wouldn't give up and tied her up to take her to the training camp. But 2 weeks later, they brought back a heartbroken, crying Chloe. Chloe liked to show off and someone didn't like it and mocked her. In the past, Chloe would have definitely bitten back and scolded the person until they cried. But because she bonded with the loser system, Chloe became timid and dared not resist. Seeing she was a pushover, her bullies went further and further. Driven to despair, Chloe threatened to jump off a building. The school had no choice but to contact our parents, unwilling to let their beloved daughter continue to suffer. My parents tearfully brought her home. However, they still hadn't given up on changing Chloe's personality. Mom and Dad hired a personality trainer with a high salary to come to our home for one-on-one training with Chloe. They were full of hope. But whatever the trainer asked Chloe to do, she managed to screw it up from angles ordinary people couldn't imagine. In the end, the trainer was willing to refund all fees just to stop teaching Chloe. The trainer bluntly said she was afraid of catching Chloe's incompetence and cowardice. When the trainer left, Chloe's eyes were shining with joy. From then on, she didn't have to do anything and lived a carefree, godlike life. After all, whatever Mom and Dad asked her to do, she messed up. A few times she even caused Mom and Dad to pay large compensations, wasting all their retirement savings. Mom and Dad had to give up on changing Chloe's personality. They set their sights on me. Mom and Dad took me out of the sweatshop and brainwashed me every day. Your sister gave the system to you. You have to be good to her in the future. You have to know, without your sister's sacrifice, you WowID, be a loser now. Swear you'll be good to your sister for life and never be an ungrateful wretch. Whatever Mom and Dad said, I agreed meekly. I knew that if I showed even a hint of rebellion, they would ruthlessly send me back to that dark factory, making me unable to contact the outside world. In that case, even if I had a system, it wouldn't be of much use. To ensure Chloe could live freely and happily even if she was a loser, Mom and Dad forced me to attend various tutoring and talent classes. My knowledge base grew, I mastered more talents, and my looks and posture improved. Watching me become prettier day by day, Chloe's eyes burned with jealousy, and her words became increasingly sarcastic. One day, I just got home from school and she ordered me to wash fruit for her. Taking the fruit, Chloe said sourly, "Keep learning. Anyway, all the money you earn in the future will be mine." I lowered my head, the corners of my mouth slowly curling up. Who made that rule? If they reach out to snatch my things, do I not have legs to run? On the day of the college entrance exam, SATs, Chloe used her old trick, crying about a stomachache. Mom and Dad were busy taking her to the hospital. No one remembered I had the exam today. Held by Dad, Chloe looked back at me with a provocative smile, as if saying, "See, even if you have good grades and are pretty, Mom and Dad still love me the most." It would be a lie to say I wasn't hurt, especially after the exam, seeing other parents waiting with flowers taking their kids to celebrate. I went home to silence. Mom and Dad were still at the hospital with Chloe. The fridge was empty, as if someone had cleared it out on purpose. They were only Chloe's parents, only worried about her being hungry or cold. Knock, knock. "Kiki, are you home?" My best friend Sarah's voice came with the knock. I opened the door, and the aroma of food rushed into my nose. I swallowed shamelessly. "Hungry, right?" Sarah handed me the food, urging me to eat quickly. Sarah is 3 years older than me, a bit of a delinquent, but she is my good friend. Mom always said she was a bad kid and wouldn't let me play with her. But in my past life, when I bonded with the loser system and became timid and incompetent, she was the one who always encouraged me, saying man can conquer nature, and one day I would overcome the system's power. Only she, from beginning to end, chose me and never changed. The meal was rich but not greasy, perfectly suiting my taste. In nearly 18 years at the Lee family, I had never eaten such a delicious meal. Chloe liked spicy food. While I couldn't eat spicy food, eating it would give me acne and stomachaches. But Mom never cooked a meal without chili. She said, "Your sister can eat spicy. Why are you so delicate?" After a long wait, the exam results came out. I got the top score in the state, as I wished. But gloom covered the house, because Chloe only scored 800 out of 1600. She was furious. Clearly in my past life, although I was a loser, I scored 1350, barely getting into a university. And at a university, I met my wealthy husband. Mom persuaded Chloe to repeat a year. "Chloe, you just underperformed. Repeat and take it again. Your score will definitely be higher than Kiki's." Mom looked complicated. She didn't understand why she cultivated Chloe in every way, but she was still mud that couldn't stick to the wall. Chloe wouldn't listen to Mom's advice, refusing to repeat, insisting on going to the vocational college next to a university. The school was close, so she could go to a university to meet the wealthy heirs and become a rich young mistress. Sooner. Why study? Torture herself? Unable to persuade Chloe, Mom twisted my ear and dragged me into her room. Your sister can't go to a crappy vocational school. Mom's face was livid. You don't go to college this year either. Tutor her, and next year you sisters go to a university. Together. Mom had Dad take me back to our hometown overnight, locking me in a room and taking away my phone and computer. School leaders and admissions officers called me, but Mom answered, smilingly telling them I went traveling and left my phone at home. When major universities fought for me, Mom set a condition. Whichever school accepted my sister, I would go to that school. Kiki has always loved her sister. This time her sister didn't do well in the exam, so she's not happy even becoming the top scholar. She's always crying in her room, otherwise I wouldn't have let her travel to relax. Chloe's qualifications were really too poor. The admissions officers hadn't seen me and didn't know if I was worth the risk. Facing Mom's proposal, they equivocated and asked to see me first. After chatting for half a day without getting the desired result, Mom deliberately said disgusting things to embarrass the admissions officers, driving them out, claiming I didn't care to attend their schools. Mom took Chloe and returned to our hometown in a rage. As soon as she entered, Mom cursed. Why are you so useless? You became the top scholar but can't even bring your sister into college. What's the use of scoring so high? Equals. Fine, just like I said before, you stay home this year and tutor your sister. You go to college when your sister goes. Mom was determined not to let me go to college this year. Afterward, when admissions officers called, she directly abused them, insulting their parents. Soon it was time to fill out college applications. Chloe walked into my room with a tablet, smugly shoving it in my face. I'm going to college. She somehow convinced Mom and applied to that vocational college next to university. Sister, didn't Mom ask you to repeat and go to a better college next year? This school you applied to isn't very good, is it? My words hit a sore spot for Chloe. Logically, she should have been angry immediately and mocked me, but she actually laughed. What do you know? Is studying well more important than marrying, right? This school is close to a university. Chloe touched her face. Are you afraid I won't be able to contact him then? So she planned to take advantage of the proximity. But, sister, you have no talent or virtue. Although incompetent and cowardly, you can't be called obedient and sensible. What would a rich heir see in you? Sister, can you give me the tablet so I can apply too? I begged her. Chloe tooted twice. No, you're just a test subject. It doesn't matter if you go to college or not. Enjoy your time alive now. Maybe you'll be taken away soon, tubes stuck all over your body, unable to move. Sister, what are you talking about? She covered her mouth and giggled. Nothing, you'll know later. Chloe left happily. The application deadline passed and Mom finally returned my phone and computer. She looked down at me, benevolently saying, anyway, you can't go to college now. Stay by your sisters side and tutor her. When her future is bright, she won't treat you badly. I can't go to college? I never said that, nor agreed to it. Back in the city, Mom ordered me to work and make money. Your sister needs money for college. Are you going to sit around and eat us out of house and home? After ordering me to work, Mom and Dad happily took Chloe traveling. In my past life, influenced by the system, I couldn't do many things myself, but I learned a lot. I found a one-on-one tutoring job. $50 an hour, 4 hours a day. After they returned from the trip, Mom couldn't wait to give orders, asking me to transfer all the money I earned this month to her WeChat. I sent Mom $300. Tutoring is $2.50 an hour. I teach 4 hours a day. Mom looked at the amount received and pursed her lips in dissatisfaction. With the Genius system, you only earn $1.00 a day tutoring? I should have sent you to wash dishes at a restaurant. At least that's $500 a month. I lowered my head obediently and didn't speak. The night before Chloe went to college, I dutifully packed her luggage. Mom bought expensive skincare, makeup, and new clothes and shoes for Chloe. Her luggage filled 4 suitcases and still wasn't done. And my luggage didn't even fill one carry-on. It contained old clothes and cheap stuff. Your sister's going to college, she needs good things so outsiders won't laugh at her. You are renting off campus and working. If your things are too good, bad people will target you. Mom is doing this for your own good. Mom spoke righteously, without blushing or skipping a beat. For the same destination, Mom bought me a bus ticket. That takes 20 hours, while she bought Chloe a high-speed train ticket that only takes 8 hours. I left before Chloe, and Mom made me take all her luggage. Your sister is careless. Mom doesn't trust her with the luggage. You are careful. Mom trusts you. She pushed all the luggage to me and slammed the door, giving me no chance to refuse. Looking at the 4 big new suitcases at my feet, I picked up my own worn suitcase and left. Downstairs, I met the troublesome lady who collects scrap. I told her there was trash in the 24th floor hallway. The lady loves taking advantage, seeing things as long as no one is around. She assumes they are hers. Even if she can't win the argument later, she can make a big scene and demand money before stopping. I didn't take the bus. I bought myself a high-speed train ticket. On the train, I received a call from Mom. I put the phone on the table and tapped answer. Even without speakerphone, I could hear Mom's hysterical scolding. Are you crazy? I told you to take the luggage. Are you pretending to be deaf? I gave an innocent aw. Mom. I took the luggage. Mom was furious. You still want to argue? If I hadn't opened the door suddenly, your sister's luggage would have been snatched by the hooligan downstairs. My lips curved slightly. Mom, don't you always say to your own things? I dared not take my sister's luggage. With that, I hung up. TSK, what a pity. The luggage wasn't all stolen. She was discovered after only 2 suitcases were taken. Arriving in City A, I booked a hotel, had a good sleep, then went out to buy clothes and skincare for myself. The clothes brought from home were mostly unsuitable for college. I hadn't spent the tutoring money yet, no need to mistreat myself. After buying things, I took my new luggage into a university. Mom wouldn't let me fill out the application, wanting me to have no college to go to. Is that possible? With my state top scholar score, did she think locking me in the old house and taking my phone and computer meant no admissions officer could contact me? Silly and cute. Moreover, before the exam results were released, Mr. Zhao, the admissions officer of a university, had contacted me in advance. I predicted what would happen later, explained the situation on to Mr. Zhao, signed the contract early, and asked him to help keep it a secret from other universities' admissions officers. Mr. Zhao didn't fully believe my mom would stop me from going to college back then. But later facts told him. Lucky I prepared early. Studently, Kiki. Mr. Zhao waved at me at the gate of a university. You finally came. I was so worried you couldn't report on time. I didn't sleep for nights. Mr. Zhao personally took me to the dorm, introducing a university's scenery and history along the way, telling me to contact him promptly if I had any difficulties. Mr. Zhao. A lazy and magnetic male voice sounded. I turned to look. A man in a gradient blue and white shirt and light jeans walked slowly towards us from a side path. The brilliant sunlight passed through the leaves, hitting his perfectly featured face. His shimmering peach blossom eyes tilted up slightly, exuding affection for no reason. This person was exactly my husband from my past life. City A's wealthy heir, Lucas. Yeah. Mr. Zhao, where are you going? He lowered his eyes and chuckled, looking at Mr. Zhao, then at me. This is... Mr. Zhao introduced me to him. Lucas raised his eyebrows. Mr. Zhao, don't you have a meeting to attend? How about I take the junior to her dorm? It's on my way. Mr. Zhao clapped his hands, entrusted me to Lucas, and left in a hurry. Lucas took my suitcase. Let's go, Junior. I knew from my past life that he wasn't simple. The so-called romantic and flirtatious nature was all in Act 4. Those ill-intentioned people in the Xie family. As for marrying me, it was just to tell them I had no background and wasn't smart, so they didn't need to worry about him marrying a wife with leverage and could relax their vigilance. Walking me downstairs, Lucas left. Sure enough, everything he did had a purpose. Seeing me off today was just to show his face in front of Mr. Zhao and remind him of the meeting, doing a favor. But strangely, we would bump into each other every few days afterwards. Every time, he would find an excuse to chat with me for an hour or two. Couldn't be driven away. After classes officially started, I had to attend classes, research for my startup, look at venues, contact people, etc., and occasionally deal with Lucas. I was busy every day and gradually forgot about Chloe. But she wouldn't forget me. During the National Day holiday, Chloe came to a university to find me. You are so scheming, actually hid it from me. And Mom and Dad filed the application. We underestimated you. She said as long as I agreed to one request, she wouldn't tell Mom and Dad about me attending a university. Otherwise, she would let Mom and Dad come to a university to help me withdraw. I asked around. Lucas, yeah, invited you to travel with them, right? How are you so good at seducing people? School started less than a month ago, and you can make him actively invite you. Chloe said through gritted teeth. If she didn't need something from me, she might have pounced and bitten me hard. You go tell Lucas, yeah, to take me along. Otherwise, I'll call Mom and Dad to withdraw you. I shrugged indifferently. Chloe thought Mom and Dad coming could withdraw me? Was her brain eaten by zombies? Chloe stomped her feet angrily. Just as she was about to curse, her eyes suddenly lit up. By the way, Snowball is still alive, you didn't know, right? She smiled sinisterly. If you don't listen to me, I'll let Mom beat Snowball to death. You're not afraid of withdrawing. Are you afraid of Snowball dying? Snowball was a stray dog I picked up from outside. Like me, it was disliked and abandoned. But it gave me countless warmth, supporting me through those dark days of being doubted and slandered. In my past life, my sister couldn't accept the fact that I married into a wealthy family, secretly took Snowball away, and tortured it to death. When I rushed to the scene, my sister was stuffing Snowball's meat into her mouth, grinning and asking if I wanted some too. She said then, Snowball's meat is very chewy. Want to taste? After all, you raised it like a child. Tastes really good. Yes, she clearly knew I raised Snowball like a child, yet still did such a thing. I slapped her then. Mom, Dad, and relatives all stood on her side, blaming me for turning against my sister for a dog, saying it was too improper. Mom cried and cursed, saying when I first brought the dog back, she should have smashed it to death. When I was reborn in this life, I planned to take Snowball away immediately after drawing the system. But after drawing the system, Chloe told me gloomily that she told Mom Snowball would affect her luck in drawing the system, and Mom had already beaten Snowball to death. She said it so seamlessly back then, I believed it. What did you say? Snowball isn't dead. Chloe raised her chin triumphantly. Thank me, it only broke 2 legs. A sharp pain surged in my heart. 2 legs. Snowball was already in poor health. Breaking 2 legs. And being thrown into a strange place by them. How uncomfortable it must be. Was it waiting for me to save it? But I was late? I can ask Lucas to take you along, but you must first ask Mom to send Snowball to the vet for treatment, then give it to Sarah. You tell them first. When we come back from the trip, let Mom release Snowball. Chloe refused. My face went cold, and I turned to leave. Forget it, it's just a dog. If it dies, it dies. Chloe rushed up and grabbed me. You can't go. That's Snowball, not just any dog.
It was so good to you, how can?
You let it die? Do you have a heart? I shrugged. Whatever, still just a dog. Is it more important than my future? If you go and they take a fancy to you and make you a girlfriend, wouldn't I lose big? I pushed Chloe away. Don't expect to see me be stupid. Again. Chloe took out her phone. Stop. You just promised.
As
Long as I ask Mom to send Snowball to the vet now and give it to Sarah, you'll ask Lucas to take me along. I'm calling Mom now, you stand there. After the call connected, Chloe couldn't wait to instruct.
Mom.
Mom persuaded her a few words, but was yelled back by her and finally agreed to send Snowball to the vet. I'm done. You tell Lucas now. When Snowball is in Sarah's hands, I'll tell Lucas. I shook off Chloe's hand and walked away. Hearing Snowball was still alive, Sarah immediately put down her work to pick up the dog. As soon as she messaged me saying she picked up Snowball, Chloe urged frantically, asking me to add her to the small group chat for Lucas's trip. As soon as she entered the group, Chloe started sending voice messages. Hello, everyone, I'm Kiki's sister. Here, I first apologize for Kiki. Kiki has something to do and can't go, asking me to go out with everyone. Hope everyone takes care of me in the next few days. Then she sent several overly filtered photos, making cute faces. No one in the group responded. She called to question me. Did you say something to them? Otherwise, why is no one talking? Lucas happened to be with me, heard her words, and couldn't help but mock. So, this is how you treat Kiki in private. Kiki was just explaining to us that you aren't a selfish person.
Who are you?
Is it your place to speak? Lucas laughed angrily. Lucas, don't even have the right to speak to a village girl like you? Before Lucas finished, the other side hung up with a snap. Chloe moved to WeChat, cursing at me. You were with Lucas. Why didn't you remind me and even let him take the call? Do you just not want me to do well? Now my good image is ruined. Are you happy? I didn't reply. But Chloe indeed had some tricks. Don't know what method she used, she actually got close to Emily Lou in the small group, posting about their friendship on Moments. However, Emily Lou is a smiling tiger, smiling face to face. Good with everyone but can stab people in the back with a
sneer.
Playing with her, Chloe will be eaten without even bones left. But this is exactly what I wish for. Otherwise, what's the point of pulling Emily Lou into the group? Chloe went on the trip with Lucas's small group as she wished. She went excitedly, but returned 7 days later crying and injured. She grabbed my arm at the library entrance, crying snot and tears. Kiki, why did no one praise me for being obedient and sensible? They all scolded me for being a useless loser. You must have done something, right? Targeted by others, she dared not resist them, only dared to come back and bully me. But isn't this the essence of the loser system? In my past life, marrying into a wealthy family, doted on by husband, kind in-laws, those were all appearances. Actually, Lucas only treated me as a tool, using me against his stepmother. My mother-in-law kept tormenting me until she found out I was really timid and incompetent, then stopped. My mother-in-law wasn't Lucas's biological mother. She was his aunt. She had her own son and wanted to ruin Lucas so her son could inherit the huge Sia group. Me being so obedient and sensible, marrying into the Sia family could help Lucas cover up, making his stepmother and brother-in-law drop their guard, and could let his stepmother relax, no longer worrying about Lucas marrying a rich daughter as leverage behind her back. Both sides felt I was suitable to be the young mistress of the Sia family, so they showed extra affection to me in front of outsiders. Relying on the identity of the Sia family's young mistress, getting money and power assistance, seeing that I was about to overcome the system's power and change my cowardly personality, I was killed by Chloe on the eve of success. Sister, what matters is not what I did, but that you can't change anything, right? The blood drained from my sister's face. What do you mean? I mean, sister, is the loser system useful? My sister fled like a madwoman. Mom called to sever the mother-daughter relationship with
Me.
You have no sisterly affection for your sister. From today on, we are no longer mother and daughter. Severing the relationship, yet she asked me to pay a huge amount of alimony, 5 million a year. I gave you the genius system, only asking you to pay 5 million alimony a year. You should be grateful. I didn't deny it. Mom assumed I agreed. She was busy comforting Chloe and forgot to hang up. Chloe, even if Kiki has the genius system and succeeds in business, she is destined to slave for us. Be happy. Accept treatment, okay? Seeing you like this, Mom's heart hurts. Mom hugged Chloe, crying. I had never heard her cry so sadly before. Mom hadn't been to college. She didn't know college students could start businesses and make money, so she never contacted me during college. After graduation, I went abroad for a direct PhD. They didn't know either. Until I graduated with my PhD and returned to the country, I received her WeChat message, asking me to pay 5 million alimony on time. Sarah knew about this and went to my house to make a
scene.
But my mom was righteous. Kiki is my daughter. What's wrong with me asking her for 5 million a year? Even if I want 50 million, she has to give it. Sarah stomped her feet in anger, rushing up to hit Mom.
Stopped by someone.
Kiki just graduated from college and you ask her for 5 million. For so many years, have you given her 10,000? Indeed not. My clothes and shoes were what Chloe didn't want. Sick or injured, Mom never sent me to the hospital, letting me recover at home, saying it improves immunity. Even tuition and living expenses were from scholarships and grants I fought for and working summer jobs every
summer.
Chloe saw an interview on TV, knew I succeeded in business, and called me. Sarah shouted out the bitterness I endured all these years. Neighbors looked at my parents with increasing doubt. Mom slammed the door shut with a bang. Chloe saw an interview on TV, knew I succeeded in business, and called me. Kiki, give me 30 million a year and I'll pretend I know nothing. Won't tell Mom about your business success. You know, if Mom finds out, you'll face huge trouble. I laughed and hung up. After so much time, Chloe was still so childish. But Mom raised her in vain. Chloe asking me for 30 million a year wasn't for her, and
Mom.
She never thought for Mom. If Mom knew the eldest daughter, she always pampered, had such thoughts, how would she feel? Tell her then. Do you think at this point you can still do anything to me? Chloe wouldn't think I'm still the same as before, rushing up to curry favor just because Mom gave a look, right? Chloe went to find the relatives who leached the most in the past life, asking them to come to me for help. Kiki is a big entrepreneur now. You go find her, not only won't worry about jobs, but can also get cars and houses, worry-free for life. The Leach relatives heard and came excitedly. But they are my relatives. Why should I care? Leach relatives came to my company to find me.
Before
reaching the lobby, they were escorted away by security. Seeing they didn't make me suffer, Chloe was furious. Leach relatives were driven away by security, felt humiliated, and after being provoked by Chloe, fought directly with
Chloe.
Chloe worried few people wouldn't succeed, found many Leach relatives. Now they were numerous and big. Chloe was slapped left, kicked right, and in a few moves, paralyzed on the ground, incontinent. Leach relatives finished beating and left. Mom sent Chloe to the hospital, didn't dare to be cross with relatives, called and emailed to insult me. I blocked them one by one. Actually, watching them break down is quite interesting. Just didn't expect Chloe to take a risky path. Kiki, that psycho. Chloe ran to the research institute to report you have a system and used illegal means to get into a university and succeed in business. Sarah messaged me indignantly. Don't know if Chloe is stupid or completely desperate. She reports I have a system. Doesn't she have a system herself? Moreover, I prepared a backup plan. Did she? Running to report me to the institute on a whim. She's really interesting. Just finished chatting with Sarah. Phone received Chloe's email. Blocking my phone and WeChat is useless. I tell you, worst case we die together. Seeing this email, I knew Chloe didn't want to die, was even afraid of death. If she really wanted to perish with me, she wouldn't specially send me an email. When she does bad things, usually secretly, only revealing the foxtail to mock me greatly after seeing my tragic ending. This was taught by Mom. Don't conclude easily before the
end.
She sent me an email so urgently now, trying to make me anxious. But from the moment of rebirth, I thought of the moment Chloe would jump the wall like a desperate dog. Only at this moment did I profoundly understand. Repeating a life, Chloe really didn't make any progress. No wonder she had the genius system in the past life, but still lived a messy life. However, Chloe was destined to fail. She was crazy. No one believed her words. Only, I didn't expect Mom to love my sister so much. To satisfy my sister's wish, she actually followed to report
me.
Researchers, if you take Kiki for research, you will definitely get unexpected results. Mom said confidently to the institute. I stood aside, neither sad nor happy. More sadness was consumed in the past life's death and this life's system drawing. You must believe me, the system on her was given by me. I know best. Seeing the researchers standing still, Mom's expression gradually became crazy. I laughed. Why doesn't she understand? I started my business in freshman year. Why did Chloe see my interview only after graduation? Why did the Leach relatives give up so easily when making trouble at my company? Did they not call the police? Until today, why were the researchers who were so crazy about Chloe in the past life indifferent to hearing about the system in this life? No, not because they didn't call the police, nor because researchers weren't interested in the system. But under the state's support, the institute had long been purged by me, those crazy perverts who chased me and wanted to study me in the past life were all sent to where they belonged. Now in the institute, they're all my people. Why did the state give me such great power? Of course, because my undergraduate and doctoral degrees were in chemical pharmaceuticals. Plus past life experience and systems help, I quickly produced several drugs urgently needed by the state. With me, diplomats didn't have to humbly negotiate conditions with foreign countries for those drugs. After my PhD graduation, the condition for returning to the country was asking the state to help not let parents disturb me. So even if they didn't report me to the institute, they would be controlled by the state later, letting them leave their hometown, living in a strange, remote small town. Originally didn't intend personal control, but they made things difficult for me again and again. Now they can only spend the rest of their lives in a closed place. Even their sentences cursing me cannot appear on the internet. At this time, no matter how stupid they are, they know behind me is the state. Dad rarely called me, voice gentler than ever heard before. Kiki, your mom and Chloe already know they're wrong. You weren't hurt. Just forgive them. I wasn't hurt. Pain isn't on him. Of course, he can say such words easily. Dad, isn't life good now? You used to say often that for me to study, you worked tired and hurt your body every day. Now you don't need to work, have food and drink. You should be happy and satisfied. It's me, your daughter, who brought you the ideal life. Dad was angered into a stroke by me. Screams of medical staff came from over there. I put down the phone leisurely. TSK, stroke just like that. Really not stress-resistant. Dad had a stroke. Mom took a huge blow, became demented, unable to take care of herself. If completely demented, unconscious, that would be fine. But fate was cruel to her. She had 1 or 2 hours of clarity every day, seeing herself incontinent, hair messy. She, who always valued her self-image, couldn't accept such a self at all. Later, the state held a military parade. I stood on the tower with leaders. Parents and sisters saw me on TV, telling the officers supervising them I was their daughter. But no one believed, including the caretaker looking after them, because the state acted I am an orphan. Previous information encrypted. No one can check. Chloe couldn't accept that repeating a life. I was still glorious, while she got nothing, even worse than the past life. She became crazy, didn't even recognize mom and dad. She was unwilling. Why I could live so well no matter what system I got. Anger herself to death alive. When dying, eyes stared round. Caretaker, try to close them, but couldn't. I wanted to tell her, although external objects have powerful power, human potential is infinite. As long as we have faith in our hearts and take action one day, man can conquer nature. End.